Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of the Smart Office podcast. We are here today with Brian Thompson, and he's going to introduce himself. But again, I am Hippolyte Assa, founder of AI, Every Brain AI, and an AI implementation expert. I help small businesses use practical AI systems to improve operations, client experience, and growth. Today, I'm joined by Brian Thompson, founder of Peritia Advisors. Brian and his team help seniors and families navigate Medicaid, health insurance, life insurance, annuities, and other important coverages.
We do everything but crop insurance.
Perfect. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Brian, if you don't mind me, for those meeting you for the first time, can you introduce yourself and tell us what Peritia Advisors they do?
Hi, my name is Brian Thompson. Founded Peritia Advisors in 2018. After, it would have been 10 years of being an independent insurance agent in various different roles, I finally decided that I was a better business owner than I was an employee.
Okay.
Today, 250 downline agents underneath us. Over the last 5 years, we have doubled production and revenue every year for the last 5 years. So I feel like we're doing all right. We're starting to grow pretty decently here, and do any line of business except for crop insurance.
Okay.
So one of my strengths is the cross sell.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
The cross sell.
The cross sale, perfect. Cross sale. Okay, got you. So what type of clients do you mainly serve today?
What kind of clients? Everything starts with Medicare with us.
Okay, everything Medicare.
That's truly my love. I like helping Medicare clients. I like being in that market.
Right.
And that's the kind of client I want to continue to serve.
I know you mentioned this before, but just to clarify, what inspired you to start Peritia Advisors, just for the benefits of our listeners?
I like to direct my own ship. I don't like somebody else driving for me.
That makes sense.
And I got tired of, I worked for a large corporation at one point, and they had fantastic training, but they also had fantastic micromanagers.
I see.
And I just did not do well in that environment.
I see. So was there a specific moment where you realized seniors, families needed better guidance in this space? Was there specific?
I think I realized that about the third appointment that I was in, and just realized how little 99% of the population actually understands about Medicare, or what their options are once they're on Medicare, or the true strengths of an Advantage plan versus a Medicare supplement, and when to implement each one of those. So it was it's something. If I come in and talk to you about Medicare and fix your Medicare insurance and your prescription drugs, I've got a truly happy customer. If I call and talk about car insurance, nobody really cares.
Nobody. It's okay.
It's more fulfilling.
I know Medicare and Medicaid can feel overwhelming for many people. What do you think makes this area so confusing for families?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Like, I know Medicare and sometimes Medicaid can feel overwhelming for many people. Sometimes they get confused. What do you think makes this area confusing, like for family?
It's incredibly complex, and the documentation often reads in a contradictory manner. There's 4 parts of Medicare: A, B, C, and D, and then they started using letters to identify the Medicare supplement plans in it as well. So you can be on Medicare Part A and B with a Part D plan and a Plan A, or a Plan G, or a Plan N. It gets incredibly confusing, and then trying to figure out what each one of those plans does and what it covers and what it doesn't. And it is not an easy system. I like to say the only way to make insurance any more complicated is to get the government involved.
So what are the most common mistakes you see people make nowadays?
Listening to their neighbors and their friends, and just grabbing something because their friend in a different state has something.
I see.
All these plans are regulated by county, and if you're buying something because your friend in another state has something that has that particular company's coverage, it doesn't mean that your coverage looks anything like it.
Wow.
They don't do enough research, and they're not consulting experts.
Makes sense. Given your years in the insurance and advisory space, what is one of the biggest wins, like client stories or experiences that stands out that you may want to share?
I'm sorry, one more time on the
given your experience, right, in this space, like the insurance space, what is one of the biggest wins? Like maybe client stories or anything that may be interested to our listeners that stand out that you may want to share. Do you have anything in mind that comes up?
Probably some of my most powerful stories are where I've seen other agents do things that are unethical.
I see. Yeah.
The unethical behavior of a lot of agents is just absolutely abhorrent. And it's so for instance, I ran about my second year in the business. I ran an appointment with a lady. She made $1,200 a month on
Okay.
Social Security. And I asked her to get out her cards for her coverage. And I started to say, well, which one of these is right? And she says, well, they all are. I said, they can't be. That's illegal. You're not supposed to have this many. But she
I see.
did. So she had 2 Medicare supplements, she had a Medicare Advantage plan, she had, in-home healthcare plans, and she was paying about $800 a month in premiums for her Medicare plans,
Wow.
on a $1,200 budget, and
Wow.
all these plans had been written by the same agent. He knew what he was doing, he
So
knew he
how
was
was she
just
living? How was she surviving?
right, that's kind of the point, and this agent didn't care, he just kept every time he'd walk in, she would sign whatever he put in front of her, so he was making money every time he walked in, and he
Wow.
no longer has a license to sell insurance, but
So
it's the call centers, it's the people that are doing it for profit instead of to actually help people, that's what frustrates me the most and where I like to help the most.
yeah, how like in that scenario, how long has that been an issue before it came like how
About
long was
5
the
years.
5 years? Wow, that's good. So after you helped them, what changed? Like what changed? Like how did you change the situation?
Well, the first thing we did was report into the Department of Insurance, and then we canceled a bunch of plans and put her on what she actually needed to have, which changed her. She went from a $800 a month spent on her health insurance to zero.
Wow, that sounds like kind of situation where the right guidance can live reduce stress for a family.
Yes.
Was there a moment in that experience where you said, "This is why I do this work"? Like, did you come across say, "Okay, this is why I
Yeah.
do this work"?
You know,
Eh,
you're actually able to help people
right,
and see the results in a very tangible manner doing this. Yes, the compensation is great. Yes, it's very lucrative, but we're helping people every day and we're able to do things. We're able to make decisions and help somebody by not making any money sometimes, which it's a good feeling. I don't have to make every sale. I don't ever have to make a decision that's based on what my profit is going to be. It's always about what is right for the client.
that makes sense. Would that be something you want to share? Would be one of the lessons you want to share with other insurance advisors or agency owners? Like, it's not
Well,
always
and
making sound informative.
I think that most insurance agency owners are do right by do right by their clients. They do what they should. It's unfortunately there's always a percentage who are bad actors who are going to make a decision based on their own pocketbook instead of what's right for the client. That's not the kind of client or not the kind of agent that I want working in my agency.
So, what do you think really separates a trusted advisor from someone who simply sells insurance products? Like,
Knowledge,
okay,
ethics, and intent.
okay,
Intent probably being the largest, ethics and intent. Why did they get into the business? Why are they continuing on in the business? And what are they doing while they're there? If they're truly acting in an ethical manner, I don't have a problem with anybody in this business if they're acting in an ethical manner. But if their intent is to make $1 million in a year and sell everything that person can afford, that's what I don't care for. They're not acting in the best interest of the client. And we have a duty to act. These people look to us for expertise and
right.
guidance, and we have a duty to lead them in the right direction and treat them as human beings and not a paycheck.
Right. So for this lady that you met, how do you build that trust before someone becomes a client? Like, let's say you came to this lady, she's spending this amount. How would she have to trust you as opposed to her previous?
I I guess I proved that she could trust me by explaining what was wrong with all having this many policies. And then every time we would call one of the companies that she had a card for and explain the situation, they backed me up every time, saying, "No, you shouldn't have all these policies, and we need to cancel this or cancel that." Or even the Department of Insurance backed me up.
I see.
Unfortunately, this we're dealing with vulnerable seniors in many cases,
Exactly.
and they're very trusting.
Exactly.
So it's seniors are going to trust anything you say to them. So it doubles the burden on you to make sure that what you're doing is guiding them in the right direction.
So in terms of that, what do families need to understand before making Medicare, or retirement related insurance decision?
They need to make sure that whoever they're speaking to is an expert or if they are not an expert that they've got backup behind them. I mean, everybody is new at some point.
Right.
Everybody is going to make mistakes here and there, and while they're learning, and that's why I, as an agency owner, exist, is to help
Okay.
develop the agents underneath me now, and teach them the lessons that I've already learned and how to go out and help more people. I can help a lot more people with 250 agents than I can all by myself.
Wow.
So I'm
Yeah, exactly.
I'm growing by
Yeah, you just
ethics.
okay. So what are some of the biggest challenges seniors face today when trying to understand their insurance options? Like the challenges they face.
That's the challenges who face myself or my
The
agents,
seniors, the seniors.
the seniors.
Yeah.
Trying to understand, trying to ignore everything they hear from their friends, trying to ignore everything they hear from. When's the last time you heard a really good, feel good story about insurance?
It's not very often. Not very often.
What do you hear about an insurance company? You
You
hear the
always
bad,
hear that they are always trying to rip you off.
and
Every like
I can tell
charging
you
you
a
more
bad
than due.
story
Like,
about every insurance company that I've ever dealt with.
I'm
I can
sorry?
find a bad story about every single one of them. What you never hear is the good things that they're doing.
Exactly.
It just takes one bad actor out there to destroy 100 good stories.
Yeah, I just feel like every time you have to deal with insurance, they're trying to investigate you more than they're just trying to fish. Just more like that. They're trying to do a fishing expedition to see something you did wrong. Maybe you wrote some policy wrong. Maybe something was in the fine print and you didn't read it well. So they're just going to take advantage of you. You are just in a panic. Would they even accept your claim?
You've got it half right.
Yeah,
You've got it half right. I should be investigating you. I
exactly.
should be evaluating everything you have. I should be looking at it, not to take advantage of you. But when I'm writing insurance, my job is to write to assume the worst case scenario and to offer you protection against that scenario.
Right.
If I tell you that the state minimums are good enough on your car insurance and you've only got $20,000 worth of liability, and you go hurt somebody and they've got a $500,000 in medical bills, your insurance is only covering 20,000 of that. You're
Exactly.
liable for the rest of that payment. Well, now you're looking at me and saying, why don't I have better insurance?
Exactly. Why is my okay? That makes sense.
So it's incumbent on me to offer you the best coverage
Yeah.
I think is appropriate for you.
Right.
It's up to you to make a decision on what you want. But if I don't explain it properly, if everything that I say comes across to you as he's just trying to scam me and make a dollar off of me, well, yeah, you're not gonna accept anything that I say.
Okay.
But I can't. I often tell people I go through a questionnaire and I say I'm not trying to solve a problem you don't have,
Right.
but I don't know if there's an opportunity to help you unless I ask a bunch of questions.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And when you come in here, are you good at what you do?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, pretty good on what I could. Yeah,
Should I tell you how to do what you're doing?
certainly not because
I'm very good at what I do.
great.
And
Yeah,
if you come in here and tell me this is all I need, I'm probably going to disagree with you because I'm much better at this than you are.
yeah. Because you're right. Because most when they come to Asia, they're going to like, this is what I need. This is what I need. Because for some reason they feel like you're certainly going to oversell to them, and that's the thing is,
I've had a 25-year-old come in and tell me I want a 10-year term life insurance policy. No, you don't,
you know,
because it doesn't fit. It doesn't suit the needs that you've already laid out for me.
makes sense. So let me flip the coin. Let me ask you, what are the biggest challenges that you face as an agency owner when you work with your agents, or getting new agents, or bringing people on, as you mentioned earlier?
It's recruiting. It's recruiting good people,
Right.
and often there are a lot of people out there who have been abused by bad agencies.
Right.
So it's gaining their trust and showing them that I'm not going to act the same way that these other bad actors behaved. That often is the biggest challenge
Right.
because they've, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yes, you're right.
So they don't want to be taken advantage of again. They don't want to be put into a bad situation again. They want to make sure that whatever choices they're making and whoever they're aligning with are good for them, but they're very, very wary and very scared of making another bad decision. So it's often harder for me to prove my intent and my ethics to an agent
Yeah.
than it is to a client.
Right. So what happens when you probably recruit the wrong agent or the bad agent? What's the impact?
I'm sorry, say it again.
If you recruit the wrong agent, if you make a wrong decision regarding insurance, could make a wrong decision with the agent.
If I make a bad decision and then bringing out a new agent,
Yeah,
I either fix them or I let them go.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's it that they should not. I'm not going to have somebody out there promoting my brand that does not share
Yeah,
the ethics and the intent that I have.
right. So let's go back to question about these families that are impacted by your work, your ethical work. I can imagine that for family, this is not just paperwork. It may affect their peace of mind, healthcare access, or financial security. So how does Peritia Advisors make the process easier for clients?
There's only two things any insurance policy is supposed to do for you. Everything else is bells and whistles and glitter and
Right.
flashing lights.
Yeah.
It's supposed to protect you financially. It's supposed to help you sleep at night.
Right.
Anything else is extras. If we haven't solved those first two problems, we've got you on the wrong plan and we haven't done our job. So, and a lot of helping somebody sleep at night is understanding their personality and their buying behavior and what's actually driving the decision.
Yeah.
And back to if you feel like you're getting grilled when you go talk to an insurance agent, well, we do it on purpose.
Mhm.
There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
GUL and IUL or a UL, I don't know which one is right for you.
Mhm.
Maybe none of them. If I don't ask, if you walk in and somebody sells you an insurance policy without asking any questions, do not buy it
Yeah.
because they're handing you something that they have they have no idea if it's actually appropriate for you. But I bet it pays a nice commission.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So what does education play before someone really chooses a plan? Like you're gonna ask these questions, find out what is this, what's the role?
How do I do that?
Like what's the role? What's the role of education? Like educating this for them, for somebody to be educated.
The,
You do the
the
greening,
real,
you do the education, you do the awareness.
all of it. All
Yeah.
of it. I mean, you should spend 20 or 25 minutes minimum getting to know every client before you start to make any recommendations.
Okay.
I mean, depending on their needs, obviously, sometimes
Right.
it's much faster than that because it's a very simple need. But when somebody's coming in and talking about homeowners and auto or
Hmm.
their health insurance
Right.
or what is the proper life insurance to protect this person and all their assets and all their
Right.
needs, you better do some research and make sure you're doing the right thing because you only get one shot at this.
Right.
That this could be the very last purchase this person ever makes. And if they get hit by a truck in 45 days, I hope to God you did the right thing by that person and you
Right.
protected them properly.
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So what is important? Is there an ongoing follow up after someone becomes a client? How does it work with the insurance process or the insurance with your clients?
Well, there's a certain amount of trust that goes on. Yeah, obviously you don't want to sit down and answer all 2,000 questions
Right.
every year. But at the same time, it's incumbent upon us to at least once a year have a conversation with you
Right.
and see how is everything working for you? What has changed in your life? What has changed in your policy? And do we need to make any changes?
Right.
You bought life insurance 5 years ago. If I just assume that life insurance is still good for you, shame on me. If you assume that life insurance is still good for you, shame on you. Because in the intervening 5 years, you got married, you bought a house, you bought 3 cars, and you had triplets.
Right.
Your needs are not the same as they were 5 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Right.
if we don't reevaluate this stuff, shame on us
Yeah.
because your needs are changing, your insurance needs are changing, and we need to make sure that we're doing our job properly to maintain those in your coverages and make sure that your everything that you value is protected the way it should be.
That's good. Yeah. Sure. I mean, logical. I mean, it's 5 years, grown, things have changed. People adjusted.
If you bought if you bought a life insurance policy that was good enough to just bury you,
Yeah.
and then you get married and have a child, I hope you're changing something,
Right.
or
So
else
some
you're
some people
go
just
ahead.
buy and just buy and just forget they because they always just I always almost just receive a thank you note, happy birthday. That's it for many years. Do you have to report yourself or report a life, or sometimes they reach out to you to say if something has changed?
The end of the day, it's really on the client to tell us if something changes. We
Okay.
can ask questions all day long, but we have to get good, honest answers in order to be able to help. If you do have a baby and you don't let me know about it so that I can help you evaluate if we need to change anything, that's kind of on you.
You. Yeah, makes sense. Wow, that's good. Given everything you've built and problems you've solved for clients, and what are you focused on improving right now at Peritia Advisors with their
Right now, I'm
agency and
focused
everything?
on building my network of agencies underneath me.
Okay,
We're in a growth mode where we're recruiting and we're adding agents every day. We've added about 5 agencies underneath me this year,
that's good.
and really expanding the business that we're doing. So right now, it's about growing and trying to help as many people as we humanly can,
So when
because
it's
we know that there's other people out there that are going to try to help them, but without the same intent.
exactly, you're right. So when you say growth, what are you focused on that? What exactly are you trying to do to improve that growth?
I'm recruiting the agents.
Okay,
I'm
that's good.
recruiting people that go out that I can teach to sell the way I do it,
Yeah.
and go out and help as many people as I can.
And how long has that been? Have you been focused on that? Is it a continuous process or you
Truly
just
focused on that for the last 2 years.
okay? So
That's become more and more of a focus the last 2 years. I can only help so many people. I can only work so many hours.
exactly.
At some point, I have to duplicate myself to be able to help more people.
Yeah. What would improving that? What would recruiting more people really do for the business?
Well, my business, we've doubled production every year for the last 5 years.
Makes sense.
The more agents we have, the more people we're helping, the more production we have. The business continues to grow. The more it grows, the more I can advertise, the more I can bring people on, and the more people we can help.
Makes sense. A lot of advisory business reach a point where service is strong, but the systems follow up, growth engine needs to catch up, and things like that. So it makes sense. Makes sense. That's good.
Not only that, the more people I can employ, the more people that I can change lives by the people I hire and the families that I help in that way. We're putting money back into the economy.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. So that's it. So when growth in general, I know it's a loaded word to growing, but there are things in between that you need to work on. Like I focus more on like the generic growth, lead generation, client follow up, advisory productivity, retention, operation efficiency. Like, is it everything or there are certain
All of it,
okay,
all
makes
of
sense.
it. Training platforms, standard operating procedures, and right now, I guess probably the biggest push is to have a guidebook when
The
we bring
guidebook.
on a new agent. At one point, I could lead everybody individually. We're past that point now.
Exactly.
So it's systems and automations is what we're after
Right,
right now.
right. That makes sense. So if you could solve that one bottleneck, that would be that automation aspect of it, right? If I'm right or if I'm wrong.
If we could solve standardization and put together a training platform that served every single person, that'd be. I don't think you can, but we can do our best.
Yeah, like that, because of course you cannot be everywhere at any time and do the same for all agency as the business grows.
But if I've got
So
a good video library that they can go to and learn anything
yeah,
they need to,
tools. Okay,
that's
that makes sense.
that helps me to duplicate myself as well.
Oh, that makes sense. Wow, that's good. So where I know things have been changing, technology has been growing their things. Where just chaining up on that, building on that, where do you think technology can help uh, uh, insurance advisors or you at this stage of the business? Where do you think technology can help?
Technology just helping us with automate daily tasks that don't take a skilled person. Right now, we're working on building out our AI receptionist. Because why do I need 5 people answering the phone when the AI can answer all 5 at the same time?
At the same time?
We've already got our automations sending out reminders for appointments. It has cut my no-show rate down by about 3,000%.
That's good.
So we're at about a 99.8% show rate now for appointments.
Yeah.
So I don't have gaps where people just didn't show up anymore.
That makes sense. Wow, that's good. So I know appointment settings that's taken care of, documentation collection, renewal, reminders, CRM. I mean, those covers everything. Do you see AI replacing advisors or helping good advisors serve clients better?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but do you see some?
There are too many details, too many changes, too much, and some people just want a face to talk to. There are some people that AI is going to serve perfectly well. Every time you make a hard and fast rule, there's going to be an exception to it. There
Yeah.
are going to be some people that AI does a great job. I actually heard one carrier say that their AI could get it right 80% of the time, and they were happy with that. That means
So
1 in 5 people is getting the wrong solution.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, okay, replacing advisors may be a stretch. Yeah, but helping good advisors serve clients better may be something.
Replacing non-skilled staff.
Right,
With,
right.
AI can recruit for me 24 hours a day while
So
I'm going out doing other things. We can have
right,
AI out.
and
We actually have an AI right now that is interviewing potential agents and scheduling interviews for those that score high enough.
great. And what I know, what part of client relationship should always remain human factor, based on your experience, based on what
What
you've
part
been.
of the client experience should
Always remain
remain
human. Always.
standing what you have? Because when they get an AI that can read somebody's face and recognize confusion, then they might replace me. But in the meantime, I don't foresee that happening. Hang on just a moment.
Sure.
Hello? Oh yeah, just right there. Anywhere close. Perfect. Thanks.
Then I got a couple bigger ones.
Yep, just in front of the desk there. That's fine.
Okay.
Great.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
My staff has Friday afternoon off. So
Okay, perfect. So if you could remove one repetitive task, I know we mentioned it about repetition, automation. If you could remove one repetitive task from your team's weekly workload, what would it be? Let's say today.
ordering ID cards for people who can't find their health insurance ID.
Yeah, just because they can't
And
see it. Yeah.
they have the ability to call the company and order one that way, and the company's automated will order it, and they still walk in here and ask for help.
So is that what? But that will be something they are company to. But what about your agency? Any
In
task?
my agency,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
We've got so
Okay.
many projects going on right now. I need to see what shakes out before I start another one.
So if you have projects, okay. So when you don't have, if you have these repeat tasks, how much time does it take away from your client or high value work that you have to do? So I know we mentioned about AI. You talk about the AI receptionist, for example. Any other things?
I
Scheduler.
wish that AI could fill out commercial property forms for me.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, sometimes you just it's come to a point where you think about it and somebody's going to implement.
I'm sure somebody out there has that solved. I just haven't
Yeah,
found the solution yet.
yeah. So, what do you think is the next generation of insurance advisory firms will do differently? I know you are at a generation now in a transition, but the next generation of insurance advisory firms will they do differently based on what you've seen?
They're going to have to continue to get smarter and be more expert at what they're doing.
Okay.
And I firmly believe in AI in a lot of ways, but at the end of the day, sitting down and discussing what's important in a person's life and building trust, that's always going to be a
Yeah.
human touch.
Right.
Because when the house burns down, I do not want to talk to a computer.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Of
I want
course,
to
you
talk.
want to talk to somebody for sure. For sure. For someone listening who is confused about Medicare insurance planning, what first steps should they take? Like, what are the first steps should they take now? Maybe talking to you, maybe reaching out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out and let's have a conversation.
Yeah. So maybe you want to share your website, phone number, anything.
Website is PeritiaAdvisors.com.
Okay.
The phone number 319-841-2010.
And which areas do you serve? Like, do you have agency all over the US or some specific
We are
states?
in 46 states and DC.
Okay. Okay. So what are the four states you're not in?
I know we don't have Alaska and Hawaii, and I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what the other two are.
Okay.
But if you're in a state that I don't have a license, let me know and I'll buy it. It's
Okay.
not
So this goes for agents who want to work with you and for people who need help. Right? Okay.
new one. That's about it.
So
I can buy a license.
so people can learn from your website, learn about more from your website. So, but what type of, let's talk about your agents. What type of clients or agents you think can fit your criteria of being working with
And
you?
they've gotta want to serve their client. They've got to
Yeah.
have the intent to be a servant.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, 99% of people don't understand what insurance coverage they actually have. Somebody made them feel good enough that they bought something. They've never read the policy. They don't know the ins and outs of it. The person offering the policy to them has to be serving their
Right.
needs. If you're not serving your client, you're in the wrong business. If you're here to make $100 million, you're in the wrong business. You
You're
can
right.
make that money, but that cannot be why you're here. You have to serve every client that walks in whether you're going to make a dollar off them or not.
In terms of agent, what kind of training do you think they should have? Let's say experience or training or certification do they need to have for probably working?
I don't care if they've got a certification or a license. We can walk them through every step of that. Sometimes it's easier to train somebody with no experience than it is to train somebody that
Somebody
thinks they
can.
are doing.
That makes sense. Yeah. So
Sometimes I have to do a lot of uneducation before I can teach them.
educate makes sense. Yeah, true, for sure. So I think this is my final question. What legacy do you want Peritia Advisors to build in the communities you serve all over the US of America?
I don't know. That answer changes every day and every week. At one point, I thought if I could make $50,000 a year doing this, I'm going to have it made. And never in my life did I think I would reach where I have. So I don't want to say that this is the finish line because I've already passed that finish line 100 times.
Right.
I don't want to put a limit on it. We're going to see where we go. We got a lot of years left to do this.
Great.
I would like to see a legacy of as many agents as humanly possible serving their clients in an honest and ethical way forever.
Okay. Wow,
I don't have a finite answer for you. I want to help as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that makes sense. Of course, it's fulfilling. It's great. Wow, thank you. Thank you about that. Great.